Hello everyone, for today's video we're gonna talk about asymptotes. This is a lesson particularly in general mathematics. So meron tayong tatlong asymptotes. We have vertical, horizontal, and oblique asymptotes. So tatlo yung asymptotes na meron tayo. Pero for today's video we're gonna talk about the two asymptotes, which is vertical and horizontal. Yung oblique is going to make another video lesson for that kasi medyo mas mahaba-habang usapin yun. So, if you're ready, simulan na natin. Okay, so let's define first asymptote. It says here, asymptote is a line that a graph gets closer and closer to but never touches or crossed it. So it looks like this. So it's a line or linya na yung ating graph ay papunta sa kanya, palapit ng palapit ng palapit, but it never touches or hindi niya pwedeng ma-hit o ma-cross. So yung linya na yon na hindi pwedeng tamaan ng ating graph ay tinatawag na asymptote. Okay, so let's talk first about vertical asymptote. It says here the line x equals to a. A is any number, non-natural number, is a vertical asymptote of the graph if function approaches to infinity or the function approaches to negative infinity as x approaches a. So the question is, how are you going to find your vertical asymptotes? Okay, ang sabi dito, to find the vertical asymptote, reduce the function by factoring the numerator and the denominator, set your denominator equal to 0, and then solve. Okay, so let me give you an example. So let's find the vertical asymptote of each rational function. So number 1, we have f of x is equal to x squared minus 4x plus 3 all over x minus 1. Okay, so the first thing you have to do is you have to reduce the function by factoring the numerator and denominator. Okay, so the factors of our numerator, which is x squared minus 4x plus 3, are x minus 1 times x minus 3. For our denominator, which is x squared minus 5x plus 4, the factors are x minus 1 times x minus 4. The purpose of this factoring is to reduce our functions. So kung merong parehas from numerator and denominator, kailangan nating i-cancel out. And then yung matitira sa denominator, which is x minus 4, will be equated to 0. So it would be x minus 4 equals 0, and then just transpose negative 4 to the other side. It will be x equals to 4. So this value is now our vertical asymptote. Okay, so para mas ma-appreciate natin yung ating vertical asymptote, kailangan natin siyang i-graph. So we have x equals to 4. So graph lang natin. Then locate 4. Tapos draw tayo ng vertical line since this is a vertical asymptote. As you can see, yung graph goes to positive infinity and goes down to negative infinity. Okay, for our second example, we have f of x is equal to 4x over 2x plus 1. So again, we're going to reduce our function by factoring our numerator and denominator. But for this example, this cannot be done. So if the numerator and the denominator cannot be factored, we're going to the next step, which is equate our denominator by 0. So we have 2x plus 1 equals 0. Transpose 1 to the other side makes you 2x equals to negative 1. Divide both sides by 2. So we have x equals to negative 1/2. So this negative 1/2 is our vertical asymptote. Okay, now so let's graph our asymptote, which is equal to negative 2. So gawa muna tayo ng Cartesian plane, and then let us plot negative 1/2 to our Cartesian plane and draw a vertical line since this is a vertical asymptote. And then the graph will be goes up to positive infinity and goes down to na negative infinity. So, ito yung graph ng ating asymptote, which is x equals to negative 1/2. So, let's move on to horizontal asymptotes. So, paano ba siya kinukuha? So, the horizontal asymptote is determined by comparing the degrees of numerator and the denominator. So, meaning to say, check nyo or i-compare nyo yung exponents ng numerator and the denominator. Let n be the degree of our numerator and then let m be the degree of our denominator. So, kailangan nating i-compare yung degrees nila. First condition is if n is less than m, the graph of the function has the line y equals to 0 as our horizontal asymptote. So, ibig sabihin, kapag yung degree ng numerator ay mababa sa degree ng denominator, yung horizontal asymptote mo equals 0. Second condition is if n is equals to m, the graph of the function has the line y is equal to a sub n over b sub m as horizontal asymptote, where a sub n and b sub m are the leading coefficient of the numerator and the denominator respectively. So, ganito siya. Kapag parehas yung degree ng numerator mo at denominator, meaning to say parehas yung pinakamalaking exponents nila, ang gagawin mo is kukunin mo lang yung numerical coefficient ng numerator, i-divide mo dun sa numerical coefficient ng denominator, and then yung quotient na makukuha mo, yun na yung ating horizontal asymptote. Okay? Okay, so let's say we're asked to get the horizontal asymptote of f of x is equals to 1 over x plus 1. Okay, so what we're going to do is we are going to compare the degree of our numerator and denominator. So, check natin yung degree ng numerator. So, yung degree ng numerator natin is 0 since constant siya, wala siyang variable. So, ang degree niya is 0. So, for our denominator, the degree is 1. Since we have denominator which is x plus 1, yung exponent ng ating variable dyan na pinakamataas is 1. Kaya 1 yung ating degree. In this case, the degree of our numerator is less than the degree of our denominator. Or pwede nating sabihin, n is less than m. Sa condition na ganito, ang magiging horizontal asymptote natin is 0. Now, we're going to locate our horizontal asymptote which is equal to 0. So, since horizontal siya sa y equals to 0, yan yung nangyari, and then approaches to positive infinity horizontally, then approaches to negative infinity pababa. Again, if the degree of numerator is less than the degree of denominator, automatic, yung horizontal asymptote natin will be equal to 0. Okay, for our last example, we have f of x is equal to 2x squared minus x minus 1 over x squared minus 1. Now, we're trying to get both horizontal and vertical asymptote in this example. So again, check natin yung ating functions kung pwede nating ma-reduce by factoring. So pwede siya, no? So we're going to factor the numerator and the denominator. So we have 2x plus 1 times x minus 1 all over x plus 1 times x minus 1. So check natin kung may parehas. Then pag may parehas, cancel natin. Okay, so as you can see, yung natira is 2x plus 1 over x plus 1. Speaking of degrees, kasi hanapin natin yung horizontal asymptote, parehas lang sila ng degree. Yung degree nila is parehas na 1. So in this case, the degree of numerator is equal to the degree of denominator. So in this condition, ang gagawin natin is kukunin natin yung leading numerical coefficient ng numerator and denominator, tas i-divide natin. So for our numerator, we have 2, and then for our denominator, we have 1. So 2 divided by 1 is equals to 2. So 2 is our horizontal asymptote. Since meron na tayong value ng ating horizontal asymptote which is equal to 2, we can also get the vertical asymptote at the same time. So kunin lang natin yung denominator ng reduced function which is equals to x plus 1, equate natin sa 0. So transpose natin yung 1, magiging negative 1. So ang ating vertical asymptote is x equals to negative 1. And then we can graph na. So, i-plot lang natin yung mga values natin sa ating graph. So, meron tayong horizontal asymptote na 2 at meron tayong vertical asymptote na negative 1. Locate natin yung horizontal asymptote na 2 sa y-axis horizontally, no? At yung ating vertical asymptote sa x-axis, negative 1. So, vertical siya. After ma-set up natin yung vertical and horizontal asymptote, pwede na nating i-draw yung graph. So, yung graph ng function will be approaches positive and negative infinity at the same time. So, ganito yung magiging itsura ng graph kapag magkasama yung vertical and horizontal asymptote. So, tapos na yung ating video lesson with regards to asymptote, horizontal and vertical asymptotes. Kung sa tingin nyo nakatulong tong video na to para sa studies nyo, please like and subscribe para updated ka sa mga video lesson na i-upload ko. So, bye-bye!